your own gifts, and you're also you're traveling and integrating the fullness of your being, which is not at all, actually, the more neurotic aspects of your personality, and which is actually not your personality, which is your essence, if you want to call it that. But also your personality has certain things to express and say in the world. And so in that journey of expressing those things and gifts and creation, aspects of creation in the world, you are also going through different unconscious or hidden patterns and clarifying them. Some of them might come from your childhood, some of them may come from certain difficult experiences in your life, some of them may come from your ancestors, and making them those conscious and aware is part of the journey. So of the human being, it is not opposed to the light of your essence. So the idea is not to throw this away or put some light on it, as I hear certain people say. It's to clarify it, it's to bring light into it, and in that apparent shadow is also your essence. It's not outside of it. You'll find it also in that those more hidden or sometimes difficult shadow aspects. So a lot of this work is a work of integration, and that's where I think, although I mentioned there was a lot of confusion with a mixing of things, I do think, and with all my respect towards the traditional forms of shamanism, where I think you can really find the essence of things, what is currently missing in a lot of modern presentations. I do think also some more modern gifts, or some gifts of the modern world are interesting. And I think definitely, for example, Jungian psychology is a really interesting contribution. I think the idea really that Jung proposed of the integration of the shadow is really interesting, and the fact that really the healing of our wounds is also a path of knowing yourself. I think that's actually valid for the healee, but that's valid for the healer, and actually necessary for the healer. I think that might actually be a very interesting contribution to traditional shamanism, where a lot of the evil is outside. And I have to balance this about Jungian's, I don't think Jung saw it like that, but many of the neo-Jungian approaches, and definitely other non-Jungian approaches, do see the beings, forces, and not Jung himself, who had a very different, if you really understand what he was saying, he had a very different experience. But not all of those, you could say, figures and experiences of the imaginary realm are imaginary, or they're not just psychological, or they're not just relevant to your own so-called unconscious. They are actually connected to a wider field that is the spirit world. I think Jung did understand that very well. I think many neo-Jungian don't understand it. So there's a limit to the both understanding of how this world works, and also of possibly how you can accompany someone who comes with profound transpersonal experiences, or even experiences of bothering spirits, for example, or ghosts, family ghosts, for example. If you don't understand, those are also, they might be figures in the unconscious of the person, but they are actually beings also. And if you don't treat them also on that level, it's likely you're not going to be able to help that person really. So to sum it up, I think it's interesting to really understand the roots of shamanism. It's also interesting to not throw away certain modern contributions. And I think shamanism is also both a path of healing for others, but for the healer it's also a path of self-understanding. It's a path of constant examining. It's a path of integration of shadow. So it's a difficult path also, because the more you start helping people, the more is asked of you to clarify yourself. If not, you'll just build power, and power on this unclarified foundation is going to be very quickly distortion and unbalanced power. And it will actually enhance your own distortions, which come from your wounds. So that's it in a nutshell for now. I hope this is helpful, and I look forward to speaking to you in another video, and also hearing about your comments and questions. Blessings to all.